Whangarei is one of the highest areas of methamphetamine. It's really destroying homes, families.
And my boy told me, what have I been doing? What's wrong with me? Don't you love us anymore? You're never home?
I think the main reason for the school growth and success has come down to our relationships with each other, our whanaungatanga. We have a sense of every child has a place there, they know that they belong.
Set on its gleaming natural harbour, Whangarei is the capital of New Zealand's breathtakingly beautiful Northland Peninsula. Off its coast is some of the best scuba diving in the world, along with the world's largest sea cave. Its subtropical climate, verdant forests and its nearby mountains provide spectacular views. On the top of Mount Parihaka, the extinct volcanic cone that sits by the city centre, you can view the remains of early Maori settlements, as well as enjoy panoramic views over the city and harbour. But Whangarei is more than the sum of its exquisite natural beauty. It's a place where a thriving community is finding home. Welcome to Finding Home, Whangarei, New Zealand.
Whangarei is a pretty amazing place to live, really. The lifestyle is laid back. It's really got everything that one could want, while at the same time not having the rat race of the city. It's a place where it's just always green.
When I got to New Zealand, I absolutely love it, to be honest. Just like a dream country. Just the drive from Auckland to Whangarei was just amazing.
I think a lot of people are moving here because the cost of living in other places in New Zealand have just become too expensive. So this is an option where you can have a great lifestyle close to the beaches, beautiful city, rural feeling and a much cheaper price.
My name is Cedric Clover. I live in Mangataperi, which is about 13k out of Whangarei. 3.5 years we moved from Auckland up to Whangarei here. I'd done fairly well in business and had people working for me, and then got sick. Had months off and ended up we sold everything up. So we were renting and I just couldn't get back into the Auckland market.
To be able to come up here and to afford the land that we've got, it's just been absolutely amazing. When I first saw this property, I fell in love with it straight away. To see this land and the vastness of it, it just straight away brought peace into my heart. We wanted a big garden. We couldn't have that in Auckland. All I had was pots to put tomato plants and everything. Now we've got this huge acreage where we can grow a big garden. It's been absolutely wonderful to have it.
I'm a panel beater by trade. I've done it for 31 years now. The last 10 years I've been doing restoring old cars. For me, I've only got to do 10 feet to the work shed, where in Auckland it could be an hour and a half's work in that. And I've been really blessed that I can work with my wife. Some people do find that interesting, but we live together, we work together, we balance each other well. At the moment we have work waiting for us and we've been really, really blessed. And I've got something I enjoy. Creating something from a rusty mess is an incredible feeling of satisfaction. 1937 Plymouth, belonged to a guy who's had it for 19 years. We took it right back to bare metal, took the engine out, took the body right off and that, and it was just make it out of pieces because you can't find parts for it, so I had to actually fabricate the parts for it. And it was a tremendous satisfaction. It was painted and put back together. Working on cars can be pretty much like life sometimes. You see something and it looks pretty rough and you think, is that really any value? Then halfway through you think, what am I doing? It's going to cost so much. It's such a mess. I've found more problems than I thought. Is it even worth persevering with? And when you stick through with it and get it done the other end and you see the finished polished result and it drives down the road, it's incredible.
Whangarei Adventist Christian School is nestled in the middle of a suburb called Faux Valley. We're not too far from the city, and we have an amazing big area down here for our school. When we started school in 2017, our roll was 16. At the end of 2018, we have 41 students. So our students are involved in a really interactive learning program. Every week we have a dedicated sports day. We're involved in sports tournaments for soccer and basketball and ripper rugby. We're attending gymnastics, swimming. We're joining in with other schools for school camps. We know that brain development and physical movement go hand in hand. So the more we can learn outside and moving, the better for our students. So last year we transformed a tree area. We have a beautiful historical rock wall at the back of our school, which was actually hidden by some trees. And the students worked on clearing the land. They were out there digging up roots and moving stones.
And we just moved the tires and we planted plants and we put a big swing there.
As a first-time principal last year, the Education Review Office came to do a check at our school, and they commented that our students are engaged and responsible for their learning, and we had a really positive 3-year ERO report. I think the main reason for the school growth and success has come down to our relationships with each other, our whanaungatanga. We have a sense of every child has a place there, they know that they belong. We're a family, we're a close-knit community, and we're working really hard at managing our relationships to work together in partnership with the families.
What I most enjoy is being with Mrs. Charlie because she's a nice teacher and I'm grateful for that.
Mrs. Charlie is a good teacher because she makes rules that's fun, so we kind of negotiate.
Our 3 oldest children, we had them in South Africa, so we came over with those 3. They've absolutely loved growing up in New Zealand. Since we came to New Zealand, we had another 3 children, 3 baby boys. Well, it wasn't all that long into the pregnancy with the twins when we realized something wasn't that great.
When I was 19 weeks pregnant, my water broke. We rushed to the emergency room and the doctor at that moment told us we're just losing the babies. And all of a sudden the cervix was closed, and after a day I was sent home, like if nothing happened. When I was 21 weeks, I had a bleed and I ended up sent to Auckland Hospital. I never came out until the twins were born. I managed to keep the babies until they were 27 plus 1. That morning, I had a major bleed and I was rushed to have the babies.
These days, it seems like there's a sort of 50-50 chance at about 23 weeks that they can still save the baby. And so we thought that because we had managed to get past the 23, 24 week mark, that it was sweet as, that we were going to be all right. We didn't realize what was coming around the corner. Unfortunately, Judah's amniotic sac was the sac that had broken, and so he hadn't had enough amniotic fluid passing through the lungs, which is what grows them or strengthens them in the womb. And so he would be born needing to go straight onto a ventilator, and unfortunately would actually never be able to come off. When the babies were born, we got our first indication that things were not going to go well on that night. I got a call about 1 o'clock in the morning. They said, "You need to come up here now. We're not sure whether Judah is going to make it through the night." By the time I got up there, they had managed to stabilize Judah. The pediatrician said to me, "I just want you to be aware that it doesn't always end well later on when we've had to do the amount of things and pull out the kind of stops that we had to pull out tonight to pull him through this night." Over the next 85 days, it was up and it was down. One day would be great, the next day would be a bad day.
I can't even explain the feeling of being in those rooms and seeing your Baba and not being able to do anything. Machines like you never seen before. So the first few weeks, you have no clue what's happening. Why the machines are beeping, what is this going, what's happening, and you're always on the edge of, why is this beeping? Is he okay? Is he breathing?
You know, as a parent, you would just do anything, swap places, do whatever it takes to give this child a chance, but you can't. The longer it went on, the less positive it looked. Pressures on the ventilator should be coming down over time. The more that happened, the more concerned the doctors grew. We're actually having conversations about endgame. Ooh, those are absolutely just gut-wrenching, horrible conversations to be having. We had a very kind offer presented to us that a friend would come and do a photo shoot, which is not an uncommon thing for babies in the NICU department. So we decided we'd take up that offer. Everything went great, you know. It was a good day for Judah, he was doing well. Good day for Joshua, got some fantastic photos. After the photo shoot, things really fell apart.
After the photo shoot, when I turned and I looked at Judah and I saw him, how hard he was working, I said to Adrian, he is struggling. It's not fair.
They basically put him in our arms. We each of us as family got an opportunity to hold him outside of the incubator for a few minutes, and then I was the last one to hold him, and we just held him until it was over.
The little yellow digger was really quite small. It worked very hard with a classic thump thud.
The best moments of Judah, for me, was going into his incubator and seeing his big eyes. He has the most beautiful eyes. He would look at you. It was just beautiful.
Losing a child is just something that I think stays with you, possibly forever. We're only a few years into that journey. It's definitely gotten easier, and I think a big part of that is because we've been very much loved on by a community around us, by family. We also, of course, had to choose to live for our other children. We also have been given this incredible comfort here and now with Joash's arrival. And it's been just an incredible part of the journey to have Joash arrive in the family. It's been amazing.
They're amazing little babas. From the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep, they are busy. They get into anything and everything, but it's always giggles, it's always laughs, and it's just amazing to have them, the two of them. It's just beautiful. It's like having my twins back, really.
We, as people of faith, believe that this life is not all there is, that there is a promised resurrection, that we get to hold him again. And so for us, it's never been goodbye forever. It's been good night and see you in the morning.
Wiley has dedicated his life to giving whangarea young people the training they need to succeed.
I work for a private training establishment here in Whangarei, for Region Training Centre. As of July this year, I took over the forestry course, teaching our young people how to use a chainsaw, maintain a chainsaw, how to be safe in a forest environment. Is to build confidence, build self-esteem, and trying to build their work ethics up, and trying to get them to understand what is expected in a workplace. So our students are predominantly Māori. They come from various backgrounds, broken homes, there's a lot of drinking, there's a lot of drugs, and all that's a hindrance or barrier to what they want to get into. Whangarei is one of the highest areas of methamphetamine. It's really destroying homes, families. Our role is to try and help them to get off it or try and show them another pathway. The successes I've seen in this role, being a facilitator, is seeing the change of actually one of the learners looking at their lifestyle, looking at their background, and realizing that, you know, there is more to than smoking drugs and drinking all day and partying. For me, it's important for them to expand their environment, get them to experience something new, and get them to experience things that I've experienced that will help benefit their lives and their families' lives. Get them to understand that there is more out there in the world than what they see here in Whangarei.
Lee's mum left him as a baby, and his English biological dad beat him and called him racial slurs. Lee was placed in the foster system. Anna grew up in a good home. She thought she could rescue Lee. Instead, she was dragged into a pea-filled nightmare.
When we first started out with the business, it was exciting and it was everything that he dreamed it would be. And then we took on another partner and things changed, and Lee doesn't cope with change very well.
We ended up getting a 10,000 square metre yard in West Auckland. Business was going good. Then there was a lot of work to do. So I used to have meth on me, so I started indulging in it. And then when you indulge in that, you tend to overindulge. And at that time, I didn't want to be a businessman. I wanted to be a gangster. I just want to ride bikes and just smoke drugs all day. And I kind of didn't really care about my fans anymore, really. And that's when I chucked the business in.
When he was smoking pea, the first day or two, he's like the best dad and he's the best partner and he's doing everything for us and it's all laughs and he's happy. The next few days after that, he's tired, doesn't really want to do nothing, quite snappy.
I was smoking grams a day. When I was on it, it used to make me feel on top of the world. But then the thing with having a wife who's straight up with you, she tells you everything and how it is. And she made sure I knew that you weren't being a businessman, you're just being just another crackhead.
The happiness that he used to feel, he just wasn't getting it anymore. It was like it didn't matter if he smoked pea, he was just still that angry, lost shell of a man that I used to know.
My youngest son at the time, he was only 5, and it was 4:30 and I forgot to pick him up from school. I was in a motel doing deals and smoking up and stuff like that. And as soon as I got this phone call, I kind of finished off my hit, packed up my stuff, and then jumped in the car and came with my boy. And my boy spoke to me like he was 18 or 21 years old that day. He told me, what have I been doing? What's wrong with me? Why did you forget me today? Don't you love us anymore? You're never home? This hurt me heaps, because he was like, that was my main man. And for him telling me this truth like that, I knew there was something, I wasn't doing the right thing. We moved up to Ngātaki, just up there by Takau. My father came down and grabbed us. I had absolutely nothing. We just had bags of clothes and that was it. I had no vehicle, literally had no money. I was pretty much, I would say, my loss.
My grandparents are religiously, they go to church every Saturday. So me taking the kids to church on Saturdays was like a means to get away from him as well, because he was quite needy, especially when he was coming down off all the drugs.
Sabbath night, my father-in-law invited me to come to church for lunch, for a feed. And, well, that's one thing my in-laws definitely know about me. I'm always keen for a feed. So I went to church. I started in church, I think it'll be over 2 years ago now. I am drug-free, alcohol-free.
Since I've been here in Whangarei, this has been the longest, steadiest job that Lee has ever had. And I know it's true because he has no substance to worry about.
The thing I enjoy about my job is the scenery, like my office. Could be beaches, could be sunsets, sunrises, like some awesome views out there. Just get to see a lot of the outdoor life.
The kids are in a really good school. They're both happy. And yeah, we love our church and our school family. They do help us a lot.
The Whangarei community supports the Adventist school kids at the Kai Night Market.
Our senior class have Genius projects where they initiate their own learning. Our current Genius project is about running your own business. So students have identified a food they'd like to produce as part of a night market stall.
Kaina is when the kids get to make their own business and they get to sell food and they bake food.
We do a lot of cooking and other people around the neighbourhood come and buy the food. What I enjoy about Kai Night is probably meeting new people.
Mrs. Charlie has put me on the drinks duty and she wants me to make spiders and she's got apple juice for me to serve.
The community are really supportive, our families are supportive. They're involved in our events. They're part of the child's learning and they're there with us. We're a Christian school and so our values are embedded in Christian beliefs. So without that buy-in and shared values, we wouldn't have what we have today.
The Whangarei Adventist community is a welcoming community. One of our growing communities comes from the small island nation of Tuvalu.
I like my son Tui to go to a Seventh-day Adventist school. I want him to study the Bible in school, so he will learning the Bible all about the gods.
While my dad went to church, the Sunday church, I was like, Mum, which is the true Sabbath, Saturday or Sunday? And she was like, wait for your dad to come. My dad explained that Saturday was the true Sabbath.
In the New Testament, it says, the preparation day and the Sabbath draw near, and the Sunday. So now we know that the Sunday is after the Sabbath. My wife start to know that something we are keeping in a wrong day.
Then I said to my kids, well, now I believe that God already showed me the day, the right day. I won't go back to church on Sunday. I will go and find the place that I can worship on the Saturday.
We go to the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Mill Road. We absolutely love going there. The fellowship is wonderful. We get along with everyone there.
I love the faces that greet me every time I come here on Saturday. You know, when we've had a rough week, we know that when we come to church on Saturday, all of that is just lifted off us. It's what I do look forward to every week, is coming to church.
It's funny that you meet strangers, they kind of, you feel the love and they give you that love and you're like, oh, we don't even know each other. That kind of stuff's pretty amazing from where I've come from.
When we first moved up here in January 2017, the members were kindly welcoming, you know, with open arms. It felt like we weren't visitors. It felt like we were home.
Seeing the children at church is heartwarming, and you can engage with their parents and catch up with them.
Whangarei Seventh-day Adventist Church is cool because people from my school comes there. We get to know each other too, so it's another school day to me. So we get to see each other and to listen to the message.
The one thing I like about the church family, for me, would be the lunches, the pot lunches for me. Being able to get in and have a joke and a talk and be friendly.
Nothing could replace Judah, of course. We've never felt like we've been in this thing alone, and I think that is an incredible part of the journey of recovery.
We've been here for 9 years. From the moment we arrived in New Zealand, this is what we know. Even though we have no family in this country, we don't need it. We have family here.
Whether we're getting over a loss or struggling with addiction, looking for a place we can help others, or we simply enjoy food, family and friends, whatever we're looking for, Whangarei Adventist Church is the perfect place to find support, acceptance and love with no strings attached. So why not stop by the church at 14 Mill Road, Whangarei this Saturday morning? And if you can't make it to Whangarei, don't worry. There's bound to be an Adventist church community near you, where love rules and people matter. Why not drop by this Saturday and find the home that's been waiting for you all along?